everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Titans Arsenal figure. He's part of the collective build of Beast Boy wave. I ordered this figure from the McFarlane toy store, and it took them absolutely forever to ship out my figures. When I asked them what the holdup was, they said because I ordered the bundle and added an extra Nightwing figure, it got picked by a whole different team. Lesson learned. I'm just going to order the bundle next time. No extra figures. That way it'll ship way sooner. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Arsenal, collective built Beast Boy. He's the fourth of 4 figures you need to finish Beast Boy. Here he is in the package. Looks like he has some arrows, a quiver, a bow, Beast Boy's legs, and a display stand and a collector's card. One side of the package, Arsenal from Titans. Other side, Arsenal. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there's his barcode in case it helps anybody. And on the back side, here's Beast Boy. Here are the pieces you get with Arsenal. Here's a checklist of all the pieces, and here's the rest of the wave. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Of course, I did get the entire wave to complete Beast Boy. And now it took forever for them to ship this thing out. Next time, I'm just going to order the bundle, no extra figure. That way it'll ship quite a bit sooner. Alright, now that I got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He comes with a display stand, a collector's card, a bow, a quiver, and some arrows. But before we take a look at those, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Arsenal. His real name is Roy Harper. He's had a few different identities over the years in the comics. Back in the old days, he was known as Speedy, Green Arrow's sidekick. Eventually, he became Red Arrow, the adult version of Green Arrow's sidekick. But in recent years, he's became Arsenal, kind of distanced himself from Green Arrow, and became his own hero. He's been part of the Red Hood and the Outlaws, part of the Titans. Overall, a supporting character in the DC universe. So let's take a look at him. Let's start with his head here, and I must say, I'm not the biggest fan of this look for Red Arrow or Arsenal. He's got giant red sunglasses, the cap backwards, tattoos all over him. I'm just not really a big fan of the hatted look. I don't know. The glasses also look kind of dumb if you ask me. Going further down, he's got the sleeveless outfit, pouches all across the utility belt, tattoos on both sides. And the paint detail is pretty good on those. He's got double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. Overall, it's not a bad figure. Happy to put this character in the checklist of McFarlane Toys. And just a closer look at his face and head sculpt. It's not bad for what it is. Just not really fond of this look for Red Arrow. I guess Arsenal, whatever he goes by nowadays. Now let's check out his accessories. And let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. The same stand we've seen a bunch of times before. Black perfect circle. It says DC on the bottom, and it's got one peg for the peg holes on his feet. Very thin, very basic. Now let's look at his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Arsenal from the comics. Arsenal from Titans. On the back side, there is a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. He also comes with Beast Boy's legs. They're green, they're furry. The suit has a nice amount of texturing. Black outfit. When Beast Boy is fully assembled, he's going to look like this. That's a big boy there. Now let's look at his bow, arrows, and quiver. As you can see, the quiver is cast in brown plastic. It's got some pouches on the side. You can actually hold the arrows. And it's got a peg to attach to his back. Then we have the arrows themselves. A big bunch of arrows. Red feathers. No front. He should have come with a couple of single arrows so we could pose them with his bow. And of course, we have the bow itself. Main part's red, fitting for Red Arrow, and the string is sort of done a gray color. It is sort of stretchable. It's not a bendy wire, it's regular plastic, but it's got a lot of give to it. You can see where he's going to grip it here. Here's Arsenal with his quiver and bows attached. Here's Arsenal holding his arrow, pulling the string back, ready to launch the arrow that he doesn't come with. Here are several different red arrows I have from a previous Red Arrow or Arsenal figure. All of them are trick arrows with different attachments on the top, but there's at least one sort of normal one in the mix. These arrows are a little bit large and oversized, but that'll be perfect for the McFarlane Arsenal, as McFarlane's accessories are typically a little bit too large for the figures. And it's a little bit of a balancing act but if you lay the arrow on top of his two hands, it actually looks pretty good. And size-wise, fits in perfect with his figure and his oversized bow. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing at about 6.8 inches tall, which can translate to about 17 centimeters. Now for his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. He can look up about that far, down about that far. Can't look up too much, but can look down quite a bit. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint. Goes out a little bit more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. It looks like he does not have that typical butterfly joint between the shoulder and chest area. The gap's not very big and noticeable. Tattooed up. He's got bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows below that. His wrist, it can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. His torso, ball joint, rotate around, forward and back. Another one in his waist, rotate around, forward and back, giving him pretty good range of motion between the two joints there. Legs, complete as a splits, not a ball joint, McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation, goes out kind of far, but in not too much. Legs go forward about that much. Back, not at all. Double jointed knees below that. Then his ankle, forward and back. Rotation, tilt, rock, and of course, toe articulation. Here's a look at Aresenal posed up on top of a roof. He's getting ready to hit his target from hundreds of meters away. Here are the Titans coming out of the Titans Tower. We have the team assembled here. Seeing the team together like this really goes to show that we need Starfire and a comic cyborg. There is a comic cyborg coming in the Flashpoint Wave, but he's going to be considerably taller than these guys. Here they are, geared up and ready for action. Titans go. Now let's check them out. Next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Red Arrow or Aresenal figures. Here he is, next to the DC Direct Red Hood and the Outlaws Aresenal. This guy's from the New 52, although they're pretty much in the same costume. Like I said before, I'm not a fan of this cap look. Although I like the domino mask on the DC Direct version more than the ugly sunglasses on McFarlane's version. One of the coolest things about this Aresenal is he can have his cap flip backwards, and it's articulated, so you can actually flip the cap around either backwards or forwards. I think that's a very cool feature on this guy. Very unique point of articulation, that's for sure. And here he is, next to the DC Direct CW Arrow TV show Red Arrow. This is Roy Harper, but I believe in the show, at least at this time, he was called Red Arrow. Then, next to Mattel's Young Justice Red Arrow, I believe in the show, he became Aresenal later, but at this point, he was Red Arrow. Here are all of my different Roy Harper figures. Red Arrow, Aresenal, it's really all the same thing. I'll say I think my favorite of these is going to be the Arrow TV show version. I'm just not a fan of the cap version, and the Mattel one is a little bit too cartoony and short. The CW Arrow version, that's my Red Arrow, sidekick to Green Arrow, but a little bit more of the adult version. Now let's check them out. Next is some other Green Arrow, Arrow, and DC Archer type figures. We already checked him out with all the different Red Arrow figures that I have. Here he is, next to McFarlane DC Multiverse CW Arrowverse Arrow. And here he is, next to McFarlane's Injustice 2 version. Here's Aresenal, next to all 4 different variations of McFarlane's Green Arrow figures. And I bet there's going to be more in the future. Here he is, next to all of my different Arrow and Green Arrow figures. And here, next to a Mattel Young Justice Artemis figure. And here, next to a Dark Archer or Malcolm Merlin figure. This is a great League of Shadows member. In fact, that's exactly what this figure is. Here he is, next to McFarlane DC Multiverse New 52 Red Hood. They were on the same team during the New 52, Red Hood and the Outlaws. Of course, you're going to need Red Hood and Starfire to complete the team. Here's a DC Direct version of Starfire. And here they are, next to a Mattel version of Starfire. I'm not very fond of that DC Direct version, as her hair is just crazy, crazy long. This Mattel version fits in pretty good with Aresenal, but you can see just how much bigger the McFarlane Red Hood is. Now let's check him out. Next to some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the rest of the Titans wave. Nightwing, Aresenal, Donna Troy, and Raven. And if you get all 4 of the figures, you get to collect and build Beast Boy. You can pretty much include the gold label Walmart exclusive Beast Boy as part of the wave. This is going to be Beast Boy in his regular form. You can also add in the Walmart exclusive Wally West as Flash. He's often a member of the Titans as well. And here he is, next to the Connell Superboy, Tim Drake Robin, Wallace West Kid Flash, Damian Wayne Robin, and Aqualad. These are a bunch of different members of Young Justice, Teen Titans, and Titans to round out the roster. Now we really need to get a McFarlane, Starfire, and Cyborg so we can complete some more of the Titans and Teen Titans team. Those guys are essential to the core group. And let's not forget about Impulse, another member of the Young Justice or possibly Teen Titans team. Now let's check him out. Next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is with the rest of the Titans wave, collector build Beast Boy. And here's Aresenal, next to the entire Flash wave. Then, next is McFarlane Toy Store exclusive, Dick Grayson Robin, and Kyle Rayner Blue Lantern. Here's Aresenal, next to some recent Target exclusive gold label figures. We have both the Flashpoint Aquaman and Project Superman, then the Jokerized Dark Detective Batman, Impulse, and Deadman. And here he is, next to some recent Walmart exclusive figures, Vampire Batman, Vampire Joker, Eradicator, and Beast Boy. Then, next to Wonder Woman and Shazam from Shazam Fury of the Gods. And now, next to the Arkham City Riddler and the Arkham Knight Earth 2 Batman skin. Here's Aresenal, next to the two most recent McFarlane Mega figures, Calabac and Fulcrum Abominus. And here he is, next to the fourth wave of Page Punchers. This is an Aquaman-themed wave. We have Aqualad, Aquaman, Ocean Master, and Black Manta. Then, next to the Dark Knight Trilogy wave, collective build Bane from the Dark Knight Rises. And now, next to the Kingdom Come Armored Batman and the Dark Knight's Metal Gladiator Batman. Here's Aresenal, next to the Connell Superboy, Duke Thomas the Signal, and both versions of the Jake Garrick Flash. And here he is, next to the most recent Batman wave. We have the Hush Batman, both versions of the Nightfall Catwoman, both versions of the Rebirth Mr. Freeze, and the Infinite Frontier Joker. And finally, next to both the Amazon exclusive Tim Drake Robin and the Amazon exclusive Batman Family 5-pack. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you don't know which lines you can mix him with. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you don't know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect and work way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all McFarlane toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, next is more McFarlane toys. These are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. Here's Aresenal, next to a can of Pringles, pizza flavor. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here he is, standing with some NECA figures. Then, with some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collected figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here he is, next to some Makepex figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, he's a nice figure, but I'm just not a fan of this look for Aresenal. I prefer him in his traditional Red Arrow look. That being said, the figure is still pretty good. The accessories are nice, but he really needs some individual arrows. Sculpt and paint job are good. Good job on the tattoos. Good job on the texturing on the suit. His articulation is everything you'd expect from a modern McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. If I were to rate this guy, I'm probably going to give him a 6 out of 10. Just lacking some of the enjoyment that I was hoping for with this figure. Probably my least favorite of the wave, and it's not that it's a bad figure, it's just I'm not really fond of this look for Aresenal. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.